I don't know why that keeps doing that. It'll say online, online, and then as soon as I start, it disappears. Strange. Very strange. I don't know why it does that. It didn't do it before. It did not do that before. Well, no big deal. Aha! Time to start the show. From the WDWL TV multiplex, live from the Red Studio, with great anticipation, we bring you the pride of the station, the grumpy old man, and the grumpy vulture. Would you like to take a bow? Take your bow. Banner up. Remember that. Banner up. Banner up. Come on. All right, I'll move the microphone. Oh, gee, now all of a sudden you need all kinds of room. Or just bow already, idiot. Jesus. Got to make a Broadway production out of taking one little bow? Go back in your spotlight. And look at the camera. There you go. Move this out of the way. And holy shit. Look who's here. And I forgot to email again this morning. Oh well. Oh, the vulture missed you. Not to mention everybody else. We were worried, really. I seriously thought that you had goddamn salmonella. Just by what you had described, and that shit's going around everywhere. God, you can't trust any food nowadays, for Christ's sake. Back in the day, God, you could pull a carrot out of the ground and dust it off, and nowadays it's got to be sanitized and vulcanized and pasteurized, and then you can't eat it. Getting scary. And then I read an article yesterday. I can't remember how many millions of gallons of water is purchased annually. The article, which was done by several famous researchers, said at least 60% of the bottled water that you are buying, your tap water, is healthier than what's in the bottle. And I believe it. They said most of your tap water is healthier to drink than bottled water. And just because it'll say, oh, spring water or mountain spring water or ultra purified water from the Fiji Islands, it's bullshit. They said some of these generic waters, they're tap water. Most of the generic waters that are coming from China are tap water. Everybody thinks, oh, I got to drink bottled water. Oh, it's safer. Not. I've been drinking tap water for years. You don't, as a matter of fact, if I'm going somewhere, I take my Heineken thermos mugs, whatever the hell you want to call them. I put them in the freezer. I'll leave them in the freezer for about an hour, hour and a half. Then I fill them with water and take them with me, and they stay nice and cold, and it's water right out of the tap. It's the biggest farce on earth, buying bottled water. And you go into a store and there's just rows of it. This water, that water, everybody makes water. Now, there are some areas, like, perfect example, Marianne, when she was living down in Virginia. Even though there was a water softener unit on her well, she couldn't stand that water. She said it had an odd smell. So she bought bottled water. But she would buy distilled water, not, Coke, Pepsi, Dasani, Fiji, Fuji, Yakamoto. God, there's more names for water. I still do, Kathy. You ought to see the kid. If there's kids going down the street and I take a drink out of the hose, they're like, oh! They're ready to call, EMS. He's going to die. He's drinking out of the hose. Hey, you let it run for a while to make sure that the rubber taste is out of the water. It's water. It comes right out of your tap. As a matter of fact, in dire emergencies, you can take a cup and dip out of the tank of the toilet, not the bowl, because the tank is full of fresh water. But bottled water, it's the biggest joke. And it's a big money maker. Take a look today versus 20 years ago. Look how many different varieties of water. My neighbor up the street, her daughter buys Fiji, I think it's Fiji water. I think that's the name of it. Like $3 a bottle for water? That's a racket I wish I would have gotten into years ago. selling bottled water. Pardon me while I read the chat. Okay, we drank from the hose. Okay. Yep. Yep. I don't know why Alpha thinks we drank hose water for fun. I drank hose water because I was thirsty. And back in the day, if you know, like in the middle of summer, if you were sweating your ass off, if you could go up to any house in the neighborhood, turn on the faucet, take a drink. Nobody yelled and screamed at you. You're stealing my water. But I'll tell you, you ought to see the look on kids' faces when I'll be out front doing something. I pick up the hose. I'll let it run for a little bit. Oh, he's drinking from the hose. Well, the hose isn't coming from the sewer. The hose is coming from my house. And the water is coming from the filtration plant. Say what? Really? Holy shit. Interesting. I can't remember. They had a breakdown, like per average household. And it was like $2,800 or $2,900 a year spent on bottled water. Not to mention the overage of plastic in the landfills. Because plastic does not biodegrade. So we're just making it really worse for the planet by drinking bottled water. I have probably I got 4 of those expensive Stanley thermoses. I pop them in the freezer. They get nice and ice cold. I fill them with water. I take them with me. If I'm going somewhere, every now and then I'll take a ride through the valley, get thirsty. I got my tap water. Now, I am doing a no-no because my Keurig says I should be using bottled water. Something about, I could be causing water scale on a heating element. But my coffee tastes all right with tap water. Every kid in the neighborhood played in a sprinkler. Matter of fact, we would wait for neighbors to put their sprinklers out. They'd want to water their lawn, and every kid in the neighborhood was bucking in their sprinkler, you know. Not today. Oh, God, tap water's going to be on me. What are they using? Bottled water to take a shower? Biggest farce on earth. Bottled water. They said this vitamin water, it don't do you any good. Because there's not enough vitamin in the water to be absorbed into your system to do anything. But some people, I gotta have my vitamin water. Take a vitamin pill. My cats ruined it. I had a fountain. It was really cool. And it had a little pump and a little tank. And the water like dribbled over rocks. And then into a tiny little like pond at the bottom. And then it got, my goddamn cats, they beat the shit out of it. They didn't realize they were supposed to drink out of it. They played in it, and then they broke it. There's all kinds of bubblers for cats. Go into a pet store. It's amazing the fountains that they have for cats. Now, I don't have a problem because my cats like water. They come up with them fountains because it's for cats that really don't drink a lot of water. They'll drink it out of a fountain. I know my idiot cat, if I'm running water in the sink, he's on. They like running water for some reason. But I was amazed at that article on bottled water. Well, especially when they said in most states your tap water is healthier than what you're buying in the store. And there were a couple of places that got busted because they were calling their spring water or mineral water, and it was fucking tap water run through a charcoal filter. The FDA is so understaffed that they might inspect one of these places once a year. And 9 times out of 10, the guy from the FDA will call and say, hey, I'll be there in 2 weeks. I have to do an inspection. Then he walks in. Yeah, you're okay. Here you go. Have a nice day. My idiot cat, it took me a year and a half to break him of playing in water. He was such an asshole. If somebody would leave the lid up on the toilet, it would be empty and water would be all over the place. Anytime there was water, except his water bowl, that I don't understand. if I would put water, perfect example, the other day, the asshole, I put a pan on the stove. I was going to make tea so I could make sweet tea. Now, I didn't turn the burner on. I put the pot on the stove. I go over to the cupboard to get the tea bags. He's got his fucking feet in the pan, looking at me like, what? I'm soaking my toes. Hey, same to you, Timmy. It was just another day. A sad day. Because I watched the live broadcast of the Pope driving around St. Peter's Square, giving everyone the blessings. And the next thing I know, comes across the TV, the Pope has died. I was like, he was just, I think his heart gave out. Because he'd been battling that goddamn, he had double pneumonia. And they released him from the hospital, and his doctor said, hey, take it easy. And I think he overdid it yesterday, and I think his heart just gave out. Is that what they determined? It was a stroke? I didn't think they had a cause yet. Oh, I'll tell you what. You will not see another one like him. You will not. When the enclave meets, they don't want anybody like him. You're going to see a totally different pope elected this time. You are not going to see a man of the people like he was. There's already bullshit going on, you know. But it was, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. You know, I was half asleep, and I see this news flash. The Pope has died. I just, what? He was just blessing a baby in St. Peter's Square, waving at the people, giving them the blessing. Now, he did sound a little raspy, and he didn't really do a lot of public speaking. He did wish everybody a happy Easter. And got into his Pope mobile. A modified Mercedes G-Wagon. I'd like to have that thing. As a matter of fact, here's how humble he was. If you remember the first Pope mobile, it was Jagundus. And then when he got the G-Wagon, the first one that was all encased in bulletproof glass or plastic, it was a big one. And he said, I don't want it. I want something small. Nothing flashy. God, if you remember back when he was elected Pope, he was driving some little Italian shitbox, some old beat up. He would pay his own bills. He didn't want no flash and flare. Matter of fact, he didn't even live in the formal Pope headquarters. You're not going to ever see another pope like him. It's it's sad. It really. He was he was liked even by non-Catholics. Yeah, I can't remember what model Fiat. Yeah, it was an old beat up white Fiat shitbox, like something I would drive. Because they did that close up because there was a swivel chair in the Pope Mobile, and they stopped, and that woman held up her baby, and the baby like, I don't want nothing to do with you. And he grabbed the baby by the hand, and then to find out, like 8 hours later, whatever it was quick. No, I think you're going to see a real radical change in the Vatican with the new Pope. I really do. They're already talking about undoing some of the changes that he made, so you can see where things are going already. I mean, how many popes do you know posed for a selfie? That's how cool he was. Oh, he used to piss off his security details when he was a little healthier. He'd tell them, "Stop, I'm getting out. I want to go see the people." And they're like, "No, no, 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 no." Yeah, he'd wade into a crowd of people, and the security detail would be like, "Oh shit." And that same thing, you didn't see a top on the Pope Mobile. He didn't want the top on it. Take the top off. Uh, yeah, Jenny, there's, the Pope said in a speech that it's not a crime to be gay. Now, he did say it is a sin to be gay, but he said it's not a crime and people shouldn't look at the gays like they're some criminals. And he was for the LGBXYZ LMNOP movement. They're talking about. They're already talking about no blessings for same-sex marriage. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of changes. That enclave is gonna interrogate the front runners like they're some murderers. Just like when that I gotta watch how I say this. When the priests were liking little boys. And he blew the lid off it. And the Vatican was pissed. They were like, hey, we've been hushing this up for years, buddy. He was like, people got to know what's going on here. And believe me, I have an inside line on some of that shit. I'm not gonna say much because it could get me in family trouble. I'll just leave it at that. I opened several people's eyes in our family and they didn't like it. So I have to tread lightly. But it was a shock. Matter of fact, I watched a little bit of interrogation on YouTube, and then I switched over to my local station TV, and for some reason, goddamn Fox disappeared. I don't know why I can't get Fox now. Or 19. I was getting all 4 channels, and then yesterday, so, hey, look who's here. Mr. 4207. How you doing, buddy? Good seeing you. You've been a stranger. We get worried about people when they disappear. Like Mears. We haven't heard from Mears in a good week. I'm starting to worry about him. I know he's on a different time zone, land down under. I was going to email Nomad today and ask him if he's heard from him. Well, glad to hear. We've had a couple of sick people here battling minor ailments and major ailments, so it's nice to hear that you've been good. It's nice that Jenny is finally feeling better. We were really worried. And Wyatt said he's on the road to recovery, so we were getting all kinds of good news yesterday. I'm trying to think what time. I think it was like 3 o'clock this morning that the news flashes started to come across the wire. Yeah, I think it was like around 3. And then, for my goddamn Fox network not saying that Fox is the best, but I was bouncing back and forth between channels. Because at first I didn't believe it. I was like, oh, come on. He was just... But I really think he did too much. Between Easter Saturday and then Easter Sunday, he just did too much. Well, really, Jenny? Well, then, 4207, you should have been keeping us updated on Jenny's health here. Because we were quite concerned. When she described the symptoms, I thought it was either food poisoning or salmonella. Because salmonella's going around. I say you can't trust any goddamn food today. Or you can't trust young cashiers either. Oh, jeez. I had one today. Holy shit. Now, I rarely carry cash. I happen to have some cash today. My purchase came to $5.26. So I had $5, and I had a quarter and a penny. So I give the kid the $5, and then I put the quarter and the penny in his hand. And he looked at it and he said, "You didn't give me enough money." I said, "I gave you $5.26. "No, you gave me $5.11. I said, $5.11. I'm looking at his hand. So I took the penny and I put it on the counter. And then I said, "Read what it says on that coin." Oh, I thought it was a dime. How the fuck could you think a quarter is a dime? Quarter is 4 times the size of a goddamn dime. Then, before I got checked out, he waves his buddy over and he said, "I need a roll of quarters." Okay? He says to his buddy, "How much money do I need to get a roll of quarters?" The other dumbass said, $20. This is what is being turned out of our schools. $20 for one roll of quarters? When did the roll of quarters double? And then he couldn't tell the difference between a quarter and a dime. He kept telling me, "You didn't give me enough money." I said, "I gave you exact change." And he's... So I took the penny because the penny was distracting him. And I was like, "What's this?" "Oh, that's a quarter." It like the first time in his life he ever saw a quarter. So I went to the service desk and I said, "You are not going to believe what just happened." And the girl at the woman at the service desk said, "Yeah, that's what we get today. They can't fucking count change. And God forbid you give them enough change. Like if I want a quarter back and I give them extra so that I will get a quarter back or 50 cents back, they'll look at it like, "What are you giving me? What is all this?" I'm like, this is scary. He was serious as a goddamn heart attack. "Oh, that's a quarter?" "Yeah." It even says right on the coin. Standing there telling me, you didn't give me enough. You didn't give me enough money. The old "no child left behind" is bullshit. There, I swear, in order to get a diploma when you're a senior, the final exam is your body temperature somewhere about 98.6, and do you breathe on a regular basis? And if they answer yes to those two questions, here's your diploma. It is scary. God, thank God cash registers will tell them how much change to make. Because if it was the old registers, they'd be in shock. And I think, seriously, that's why they invented these newer registers. Where it gives you the total, and then you give them money, they punch in how much you gave them, and then the register says, okay, give them $1.32 back. Because if the register didn't say that, they'd be scratching their ass for an hour. Oh, let's see. It is just unbelievable. At first, I thought he was screwing with me. Now, I don't know him. I've never seen him before. So I'm like, why would you pick me out of the crowd? And he was as serious as can be. You didn't give me enough money. Even the woman behind me looked in my hand. And she said, yes, he did. And then when I took the penny away, because the penny was like distracting him, he looked at the quarter and went, oh, that's a quarter? Is this the first time you ever saw one? You're a cashier, which is scary. How do they count their drawer at night? Although, I think it works a little different at Mark's. I think they have a drawer counter and you have to be there. You don't count your own money. I think that's the way it works. I think when they pull the drawer, because I see them, they put it in a big blue folder and zip it shut. And then they carry it into the back, into the cash room. And I think there's a counter who counts it out and then said, you're short, or you're okay. This is our future, people. Kids that can't add, subtract, don't know money. God forbid they ever work at a store that has the old registers. They'll be screwed. Well, they'll quit. As soon as they see a register Oh, it's not going to calculate for me? Holy shit! Look who's here. Mr. Lakewood Hospital. Man, are we getting some newbies in here? I just although I shouldn't worry about it because, I'm 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 not looking at being here like 30 more years. It would be nice, but can you imagine these kids 20 years from now? I want I wonder how if they go like shopping and that. I wonder how they figure out money. Like, do I have enough money to buy this? That's why everything's on a debit card. That's why there's direct deposit. The bank keeps track of their balance for them because they sure as hell couldn't. God, I remember back in the goddamn day, everything was done manually. You go to the bank with your bank book and your deposit slip, and they would write it down, and there was no computer, and they had to think, do math in their head to get your balance. I remember, I'm trying to think. I think the organization was called the First Catholic Slovak Ladies Union. My grandmother it was like a insurance company, but a private. And they they didn't have computers back in the 70s and 80s, and it was amazing. You'd see their balance sheet, it would be like millions of dollars. And all of this was done by hand. These kids wouldn't exist today. And then the other kid, as serious as a goddamn heart attack, told him in order to buy from the service desk another roll of quarters, he needed a $20 bill. Now, maybe rolls of quarters have doubled now. I know the last roll of quarters that I took to the bank was only $10. I come out of that store in shock. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is our graduates. These are kids that our education system is turning out. Absolutely scary. it's obvious that nobody gives a damn. Now, these kids should have known how to add and subtract in kindergarten. How did they get through the school system without being able to do math? We had math problems in kindergarten. Okay, it was 1 and 1 equals 2. 2 and 2 equals 4. I remember in kindergarten we had to at least know how to count to 10. And then first grade, count to 20 or 25 and add little bigger problems. And then we learned, multiplication and long division. We did it by hand. We didn't have calculators. You had to use your brain. How are these kids getting through school? It's basically, if you got a warm body, you get a diploma. I think that's the way it is. If you got a warm body, you have a pulse, and you breathe on a regular basis, you get a diploma. Oh, my blood pressure's going up. We need to go to a different subject. Didn't I like this? It was interesting to see back in the bread section the shitload of nickels, hot dog buns, hamburger buns, onion buns, sausage buns. Oh, there were buns everywhere today. Matter of fact, the assistant manager said, "Did you stop at the bread section?" Yes, I did. He said, well, they had a long talk with the new delivery man because the other one retired. And his last week, he could give a shit. But there were goddamn buns everywhere. They had buns I didn't even know they carried. I walk in that store and the managers cringe. Oh no. He's here. What's he gonna bitch about today? And when I make a beeline for either one of the managers or the assistants, they're like, oh no. Yeah, that's me. Come, let's have a little chat. Do I have to? Yes. It's either I chat with you or I chat with corporate. Okay, where do you want to talk? Over here will be nice. Matter of fact, they know me by first name basis at corporate. I think they got my cell phone number memorized. They see it come up on the caller ID and they're like, oh, fuck. Oh, no. Then they're yelling, you answer that phone. No, I answered it the last time. I ain't talking to him. He's a goddamn crab ass. Oh, shit. I got my new shirt today. One of my new. I ordered, I'm up to like 8. Let me go get it. You're going to love it. Hang on, commercial break. And it's in the right size, too. Here we go. Here we go. And I moved the mic. I'm the nicest asshole you'll ever meet. That's the new shirt. I'm going to wear that one up to the store. And it's the right size, perfect fit. Well, actually, it's a little roomy, so I can wash it in cold water and it won't shrink. Because it does say pre-shrunk. So, but cold water. And inside out, so I don't screw up the printing. And air dry. I'm not going to put it in the dryer. I'm going to air dry it. I just wish it was on the back. Yeah, it came today. I've got I think 4. I'm waiting for 4 more. And I did break down, well, that one back room, $785, it was down to $604. There were only 10 left. So I said, it's only $1 more than my limit. I ordered it. So now I have all 4 of those. Is it 4 or is it 3? Is it 8? Is it 3? Yeah. I'll just say the green ones, it's a 3 background set. Like with the red studio ones. It's a 3-piece set. Those hopefully will be here by the end of the week. I got my fingers crossed. 2 more of these. And then the green, I'll just say the green ones. And the one, like I said, the one that I ordered today, primo. The only thing is, once you get over the shock factor, having it up daily, it'll get kind of old. But those 3, I can't wait to them get here. Yeah, the studio ones, like I say, there's two more. One, this desk will be like behind my head. And the third one is like if they took and spun the studio. I hate these cameras. If they spun the studio this way. So there's more studio on this side that we'll see. And they're all red. Like this. And then the greenies, oh, they're hilarious. I don't want to say too much. I ordered them for the shock value. Not that it's going to be like, whoa, well, maybe. But if I have it up on Monday and then I have it up on Tuesday, you won't get that, oh, because you already know. But I can't wait. As a matter of fact, the one I ordered today will be the last of the three. I really wanted to put that one up first, and I was like, no, it'll ruin the effect. So I'll have 1, 2, and 3. And that's it for backgrounds. Holy shit, I'm up to 40. I'm done. I don't care if they give them away for free. I'm done. I got a big, huge container over in the Studio One. Backgrounds all folded up in bags. I got to get that tripod unit set up so I can clip them all up and then just flip them over. But I can't wait till the greenies get here. Oh, jeez. They're hilarious. They really are. The one I ordered today, I laughed my ass off just thinking about it. I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. But it's only good for once. That's the problem. You'll see it, and then the next day it'll be like, oh, you got that one up again? But when I put them up, the first initial viewing will be like, holy shit. And then the next day it won't be holy shit. It'll be like, you got that one up again? Those three are actually kind of like a waste of money because they're like one-time backgrounds. Like these, you know, I can rotate them. I don't know why this does this. All of a sudden now, the echo. I can't figure it out. After I'm on for like an hour, the mic goes echo. It goes haywire. And this mic doesn't have an echo effect. It's something in goddamn Prism software. And if I wasn't so stupid, I could figure out Restream or EvMux. I don't know how these YouTube streamers, well, most of them are way younger than me. And they understand all this software. Not me. See, what I need would be somebody sitting next to me going, okay, you have to click this and do that. And then once somebody walked me through it a couple of times, I'd be comfortable with it. But for me just to download streaming software and try to figure out how to use it, because none of them really have good tutorials. And there were a couple for Prism, but the guy talked so goddamn fast I couldn't figure out what he was saying. But why this goes into an echo like this, I don't know. And it did it with the other microphone. So it's not the microphones. It's something in goddamn software. And I know it irritates some people, but there's nothing I can do about it. It just happens. I'm going to try another microphone tomorrow. I'm going to try my Samsung G Pro. And if it does it with that one, then it's the software. It's got to be the software. Matter of fact, I was going to put the Samsung up tonight. And I was like, oh, I'll use this one another night. Because the Samsung's all mounted. All I have to do is put it on the base and plug it in, and it's set to go. And then, oh, God. One of my expensive arms, I broke it. I paid like $75 for that goddamn arm, and it broke. I was like, God damn it. Whoa, was I pissed. I brought the arm out. I put it in the mount. I put the Samsung microphone on it. All of a sudden, it dropped. And the tensioner in the arm let go. And there's no way of fixing it. Oh, I could probably zip tie it. Yeah. I don't know why it... Maybe you're not supposed to be on over an hour. Because it seems when I get to that hour point, the microphone goes haywire and the chat goes haywire. And it's a new computer. The only software that is in this computer besides, what you get with Windows is Prism. And Gargle. Because goddamn Microsoft comes with that, it used to be called Bing. They changed the name of the goddamn software. What the hell is their... Microsoft Edge. They changed it from Bing. And Edge sucks. The problem is you can't delete it. So I download Chrome. So the only two programs that are in this new computer is Chrome and Prism. Because I didn't want problems. You know, I blew my budget buying this other computer. The reason I bought it was because it's got a shitload of memory. It's got a pterodactyl byte hard drive. And it's got a killer graphics card. And everything has been working fine, and then all of a sudden, the chat hangs up, the goddamn microphone goes into an echo. Something's telling me I shouldn't be on YouTube. Something is telling me I shouldn't be on YouTube. They don't want me. I'm being sabotaged. You know, when it was Internet Explorer, it was somewhat decent. Somewhat. Nothing beats Gargle. Chrome is the best. So Microsoft, you know, they wanted their own search engine. So they came up with that Bing. Well, Bing sucked. So then it went to Microsoft Edge. Well, Edge ain't no goddamn better. So I put in Chrome. But that's the only, no email, nothing. No AOL, nothing. I bought that computer specifically for me to do my nightly program. And I spent money I shouldn't have. But I was getting fed up with all these other computers. God, I got computers up the ass. There's 3 here. 3 computers sitting right here. Over in Studio One, there's also 3. So that's 6. In the storeroom are 4 more. I should get rid of the ones in the storeroom. I really should. Because, you know, like with the ones in the storeroom, there isn't a damn thing wrong with them, except they're Windows 7. Chrome will not update on Windows 7. They tell you outright, we're no longer doing updates for Windows 7. Well, in order to download any streaming program, you have to have the most current version of Chrome. if you try putting, it won't even let you do it. If you try putting a new version of Chrome on a Windows 7 computer, it won't take. One of these days, I got to clear the hard drives, get all my photos and all the shit off of them, and donate them somewhere. I know, like Salvation Army, Goodwill, they don't take computers anymore. No computers, no laptops, no monitors, nothing. It's almost as bad as my bedroom. 3 fucking TVs. Although I'll tell you what, it was good last night watching the LG. It's surprising how nice it looked. And then I found this cooking channel. I can't remember what the name of it is. And I was watching, here's how old this shit is. Julia Childs. It was a Julia Childs cooking program. And then I can't remember the other chef, what her name was. It was all the old cooking programs. But I'm laying there half asleep, and I hear that squeaky voice of Julia Childs. I was like, and I'll tell you what, if you really pay attention, Julia Childs is a little intoxicated because she drinks during every goddamn program. She's always got a glass of wine. Oh, I loved her. I used to watch her religiously. I loved her. But that squeaky voice that, oh, it's time to add the garlic. She was, speaking of wine, today, the one program she was making, what the hell is that, coq au vin? Basically, chicken drowned it in red wine. She's got that pan out, she poured, okay, well, we need another bottle. Oh, I think we need one more. You threw the chicken away, you drank the gravy, And she was self-taught. I met her when she was in Cleveland for something, and I met her somewhere. I've got a picture. But she was in Cleveland for something. I can't remember what. And I can't remember how I come across, she was doing a book signing downtown. And I popped in the bookstore and I had a camera, not a cell phone, a camera. And I got a picture of her. Oh, God, he was another drunk. Graham Kerr. The British drunk. The Galloping Gourmet. Yeah. I liked watching him, even though he was goofy as can be. Him and Julia, everything was wine. I'm trying to think of the female ship. I was watching her today. I can't remember her name. Because she was on the Food Network. I can picture her. I liked her cooking too, because she wasn't extravagant. It was good down home cooking, but I can't remember her name. Never heard of that one. Alice Weston? I never heard of her. Yeah, Jenny, cameras. As a matter of fact, it was a film camera. Not Paula Deen. No, not Miss Start with 3 pounds of butter. No. I can't remember her name. That wasn't Paula Deen, and it wasn't that one that's always in a garden. The barefoot, constipated or something. They always, oh, I still have one. I don't know if you can get film for them anymore. I got that black and white one. You flip the front of it up, and it's got the flash in it. You got to make sure when you click the button, you don't get your finger in the way of the picture popping out of the front. My father had an old black and white Polaroid, and you had to, when you took the picture out, you peeled it off the backing, and then you had to coat it with this really stinky shit. And if you didn't coat the picture, it disappeared. And then came the colored Polaroid. Pop the front up. Oh, God. I think at one time everybody had a Polaroid, because film was expensive to get developed. Not to mention a Polaroid, you took the picture in 30 seconds, you had a picture. You didn't have to wait. Yeah, Barefoot Contessa. I didn't know it was something. And that woman that's always in a garden. And now it's in a garden. No, it's a kitchen and a studio. We're not in a garden. In a garden. God, I wish I could remember her name. Because she had a couple of daughters, and she always did her meals like around, family cooking, not extravagant, like Julia, you know. And then my real favorites were the two fat ladies. I loved them two British women riding around in that goddamn Triumph motorcycle with a sidecar. They were a riot. Although I'll tell you what, I had some of their cookbooks. I made some stuff out of their cookbooks, like Bubble and Squeak. Basically, cabbage and potatoes, Bubble and Squeak. And all the British stuff, you know. Make sure your larder is heated, preheated. What the hell's a larder? Some kind of goofy oven. And the one, the real chubby one, I don't think the woman ever washed her hair. Her hair always was stringy and all over. She never washed it. She never combed it. Wore the sloppiest dresses. She's on TV and didn't she have a wardrobe coordinator? Didn't she have a makeup lady? Nope. Her hair always looked greasy and I mean, she was a hell of a cook, but not somebody I would. Well, that was British TV. You got to remember the Brits do things a little different. And then who was the one that offed himself? Anthony Bourdain. He was a drunk. Oh my God. I'm surprised that guy had a liver. He was a hell of a cook. But boy did he drink. What, that the Brits do things a little different? You don't see the two fat ladies in America. You only see it over in Britain. And they couldn't even afford a car. A goddamn motorcycle with a sidecar. But that what her hair always looked so greasy. No makeup, dumpy dresses, and she could care less. And then the other one, the one that drove the motorcycle, she smoked like a chimney. She ended up dying of lung cancer, I think. Seriously, I know she had cancer. And they tried to continue on with the one. And the charisma wasn't there anymore. You know, those two just made that program work. And when one died, you know, you were watching going, well, where's the other one? You know, how come there's only one cooking here? And then she did more food history. And it didn't work. Now, maybe, yeah, it's interesting how the cooks, like Henry VIII, how his cooks cooked. Most people could give a shit. And even when she was by herself, the hair was still. And the dumpy dresses. But they were. It worked. That program worked. The two women, different cooking styles, the fucking motorcycle, it worked. And it made them famous. I think they had like 5 cookbooks, 5 or 6 cookbooks. I know I had several. And then I had to give a lot of shit away because you're tired of packing it, moving it, and unpacking it, and packing it. No, not Renee or Ree or whatever. No, I can't. God, I wish I could remember her name. I'll just watch the cooking program channel and I'll write it down. Because I left it on the TV. It's been running all day. Because there was one on, oh God, what the hell her name was. She's Italian. She does all kinds of Italian recipes. Matter of fact, I never even heard of her. That's how obscure some of these cooking programs were back in the day. I mean, I liked some of the stuff she was cooking, and she made it look easy. I can't remember her name. Esposito. I can't remember her first name. Last name was Esposito. I never saw her. No, it wasn't. No, wasn't her either. You're getting close though. You're starting to. It wasn't. No. Giada De Laurentiis. She cooked too ritzy for me. She cooked more for like dinner parties and that. Yeah, Giada De Laurentiis. Dino De Laurentiis' daughter or niece. Keep naming them. You'll hit her sooner or later. And I watched like an hour of her. And I can't think of her name. She was either on No, I don't think she was on before Emerald. Maybe she was. I think she was on before Emerald. And then usually after Emerald was I think after Emerald was Anthony Bourdain. But she was on before Emerald. Because you'd watch her and then Emerald would be on. And then a lot of time I would shut it off because I wasn't that big on Anthony. I'm drawing a complete, but I can see her. That's the problem. I can see her. I can't remember her name. I liked her cooking because it was easy. She didn't do extravagant stuff. You know, when, like, Giada, all of her stuff was like for high-end dinner parties. I'm not going to make flaming fillet of yak for myself. You know, you make flaming fillet of yak for 50 people, if you can find a yak. No, but you're getting closer. Yeah, you know, Gianna would be like, okay, you get 50 pounds of yak, and then you massage it. No, not Rachel. No. But she cooked similar to Rachel. Yeah, well, yeah, Giada was a hottie, yeah. I think she got the cooking program mainly because of daddy or uncle or I can't remember who she was. Dino De Laurentiis was either her father or her uncle or somebody. Well, yeah, I mentioned Anna Garden. Yeah, the woman's always in a garden. Oh yeah, Rachel was a little hottie too. It was amazing the male draw that she had. You know, they said a lot of times more of her audience was male than female, and she had that cute giggle. We're slowly going through the female chefs, but we haven't hit on the one. Drive me fucking insane. And then watch today. I'll watch tonight, and they won't have her on. But she was on before Emerald. No, you're getting close. You're getting close. You're naming them all. You haven't hit the one yet. It's typical of me. We go off on a subject, and I can't remember the people. And Kathy, you're banging them out, I'll tell you, but you haven't hit her yet. I think you just about named them all. Oh my God, what was her name? And you know, it's odd. I liked her cooking. That's the whole thing. You would think I would remember her name, especially watching her this afternoon. Or no, this morning. Oh, I'm my brain's fried. I cannot think of her name. The problem is there were so damn many. I mean, you know, like every hour it was a different chef all day long. And then you had that stupid asshole cake boss. Oh, he was an asshole. No. Keep going, Kathy. You're going to hit it. You're going to hit it sooner or later. I remember every now and then I'd turn the cake boss on. I couldn't stand him because he always yelled. He'd yell at the camera. I can't remember his name, although it's not important, but he would always yell at the camera. The kid needed a birthday cake, and he wanted a Shrek. So we took and we made 12 layers of cake and we carved out a Shrek. No, not Cat Cora. God, you're getting close, though. And then every show, you know, we made a Shrek cake. And then we covered it in fondant. If you took a shot every time he said fondant, you'd be in the emergency room with alcohol poisoning. I never saw a guy that used so much goddamn fondant on the fondant was ruined. Your Cat Cora was, she was another little cutie. They seemed to have like a coven of cuties, you know. You had Giada and you had Cat and Rachel. Come on, Kathy, you and Jenny, you gotta keep going with the women chefs. I'm losing my marbles. What 2 or 3 I had left? I can't think of her name. Oh, for Christ's sake. What I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have the LG running on that Food Network, that cooking, whatever the... It's not called Food TV either. I don't. It's an oddball. I'll just leave that channel on. I'll watch the Samsung, and if she pops up, I'll have the pad of paper and a pen right on my nightstand so I can write it down. But it'll be my luck. She won't be on until morning. And then Wednesday at 1 o'clock, I got to meet with the shrink, the new shrink. He'll be like, tell me what's bothering you. I can't think of that goddamn female chef. He'd be like, what? Put down his notepad and walk out of the office. Tell his nurse, ooh, I got one in here. I think I'll wear that shirt. I'm the nicest asshole. What a way to meet a new doctor. Take off your coat, Mr. Grumpy, and stay a while. On second thought, put your coat back on and the appointment's over. You know, it might be sunny. I'm not... That one sounds real familiar. That might be the one. I'm not 100% sure, but that one is ringing a bell. You might have nailed it. For some reason, that one is sticking in my one brain cell. Sonny Anderson. You might have got it. I'm not 100%, but that one is definitely ringing a bell. Yeah, I know. But I think Jenny got it. Like I say, I'm not 100%. I'm 90. That one is definitely ticking a box here. Because we've gone through just about every single female chef alive. I think you got it, Jenny. I think I'm 90%. I'm 90%, but I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Because she did a lot of down home, not like Giada, you know. Get 3 pheasants, 27 quail, and a yak. And massage the yak because it's a little tough. And then flambe the yak. That's the way she did it. Yeah, I'm 90%. For some reason, that one is right here. Part of the problem is it's been so long. since most of them have been on, food TV. Well, I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it. I hope there'll be a rerun somewhere tonight because I'm going to leave that TV on. But I'm 90%. That's really ringing a bell. Because I paid more attention to the ones that did normal cooking. Normal. Something that you could do in your kitchen without a lot of expensive bullshit. Pleasingly plump. Pleasingly plump. Like when Paula was on, you always had to have a 5-gallon bucket of butter in order to make any of the recipes she cooked. Everything was start with a pound of butter. We're making a clam bake. That's okay, Paula. We're going to start with a pound of butter. Boy, I'll tell you what, she went down like a flaming jet. God, when she crashed and burned. That, ugh. And you can thank social media because had it not been for social media, she'd have still been getting away with a lot of that shit. And then to lose everything. She not only lost her show, she lost her book deals and her restaurants. There's a T-shirt. I'm trying to think of how the hell it was worded. I'm not fat. I'm wearing airbags or something. I carry my own internal airbags or some shit like that. I'll have to look in the shirt thing. I have to stay off the shirt thing. God, between backgrounds and T-shirts. And all the T-shirts are offensive. Go figure. I can't wait for the one that says, I don't need anger management. I just need everybody to stop pissing me off. I was kind of hoping that one would be here because that's the one I was going to wear to the shrink. I think I'll wear this nice asshole one. Give him. He won't have to ask too many questions then. Oh, the shirt says it all. Yes, it does. Any more questions, Doc? Well, I'll find out Wednesday. What that has to do with pain management. But it's mandatory. Anybody in pain management now has to see a shrink. Sounds stupid to me. Waste of time. He ain't gonna do nothing for me. What does he think? He's gonna change my attitude? Not. God, if we get started on my childhood, he'll leave the room screaming. I don't know if I should bring it up or see if he brings it up. You want to talk about your childhood? Oh, yeah, Doc. How many notepads have you got? You better get a gross of pens. You're going to run out of ink. Where do you want me to start? As soon as I get to the Golden Gloves boxer and professional wrestler, he'll run out of the room. He'll be making an appointment with a shrink. Yeah, but see, I don't go pill shopping. I take all my medication as prescribed. I don't abuse it. I know what can happen if you do. I'm too old for that bullshit. Like my pain management doc said, you're the best patient I've got. That's why he's been fighting so much for me. I don't want to screw things up. But I think that shirt'll. Either that or you can't cure stupid, but you can numb it with a 2x4. That's another interesting thing to wear. I've got a day to decide. That one might be a little too far forward for him. Yeah, well, that's part of it. You got, goddamn government got to stick their nose in everything. Like my pain management doctor said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it ain't broke. He's been, 9 years. He checked all the right boxes and everything works. Now all of a sudden they want to cut it by 50%? Make me go backwards? And there ain't no way I'm gonna, do any surgeries. They're talking a goddamn morphine pump That's got to be inserted. And this goddamn electrical stim unit that they hook to your spine. No. I'm too old for all that shit. I've got a weakened immune system the way it is. Now you want to, subject me to surgery? I don't think so. Same thing with the podiatrist. I know what he's going to say. Let's break the toe again. I don't think so. I'll tell him, okay, you break mine, I'll break yours. It ain't bothering me. I just can't wear hard shoes. I look at my fancy Italian loafers every now and then. Oh, all the money I spent getting them sold and healed, and I can't wear them. But I've learned to live with it. It would be different if I was in my 40s or 50s. I'm fucking 73. I've learned to live with it. I've adjusted. It don't bother me. Oh, it bothered my primary care doctor. Oh. Same thing when, he's like, oh, you got a weak pulse in your ankles. Sends me for that Doppler test. Fine. Both legs. Fine. So it'll be interesting Wednesday, 1 o'clock. Hi, Doc. Like my shirt? Don't bother laying down? Okay. You're going to lay down? Okay. Yeah, if he wants to start with my childhood, oh boy. I don't think an hour is going to be long enough. Because that's what it says. Prepare for 1 hour visit. Okay. It's your dime. You like my shirt, Doc? I know it's not going to be here tomorrow. But that, I don't need anger management. I just need people to stop pissing me off. That would be the perfect one to wear. And they shipped the wrong goddamn shirt. In a small on top of it. They tell me, oh, you can keep it. Oh, I keep forgetting it. Yeah, I'm going to have to... I'll have to hold it up and you guys can figure out what the hell it means. It's stupid. I can't figure it out. I know it was definitely not one I'd order. Well, speaking of figure it out, I think it's time to figure out some dinner. My stomach is feeling like my throat's cut. Let's see if we can get the old tablet to react with the proper outro music. No. Come on. Go with the right music. We know where. 7 p.m. And with that, it's good seeing you back, Jenny. Hope you're on the mend to be 100%. And Kathy, first one in like usual. And everybody else, have a wonderful rest of your evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And we will meet again tomorrow night. And with that, see ya.